super excited. I'm gonna be making for the first time ever homemade caramel sauce. I've never made it, but I'm going to actually make it into a salted caramel sauce, but we're gonna follow this recipe. I'll link it below. I'm gonna explain first the steps, and then we're just gonna hop right into it. So let's go do it. All right, so I'm doubling this recipe, but you can just follow if you want to make one batch at home if you want to try this yourself. But for this recipe, you're going to need 1 cup of sugar, 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and half a cup of heavy whipping cream. Now the butter and the whipping cream you're going to want at room temperature. Just for the simple fact of how the caramel is made and the temperature while it's already being cooked, starting with the sugar. So what we're going to do is, it's literally just those 3 ingredients, and we're going to start with the sugar. So how we're going to do it, we're going to put the sugar into a pot that has a clear bottom so you can see it, not something that's dark, because as the sugar cooks it's gonna become dark and you're gonna want to see the color of it. So what we're gonna do is we're going to pour into a large pot our sugar, and we're gonna put it on medium heat using a silicone or wooden stir mixer until it's melted. And at first, as it's cooking, it'll clump together, but then eventually it will completely melt. It should take about 10 minutes. And then once it's completely melted, you're gonna leave it alone. You're gonna stop stirring it, and it's gonna start to cook. And as it cooks, it's gonna become darker. And it says to slow, if you want the heat, slow it down so it doesn't cook as fast you can. But then it's gonna come to the color of caramel. Whatever color you kind of want it, it'll start kind of smelling nutty, and then you're going to take it off of the heat. And then from there, what you're going to do is you're going to add in the butter. Now the butter, you're going to want it to be room temperature or slightly warmer. So when you mix it to the hot sugar, it's not going to like curdle, so to speak, or clump, and it's going to start mixing smoothly. Same with the cream. When you add it, you're going to want it to be warm. So I've warmed them both, and we're ready to go. So let's go ahead and do it. Okay, so here is the sugar in the pot, and you're going to put it on medium heat. You're not going to turn it on high to help it cook or melt quicker, because you don't want it to start cooking the sugar that has melted before it all dissolves. So as you can see, it's starting to clump, but I'm gonna have to put this down to stir it, so I'll do that, and then I will show you as it cooks a little bit more. So this has been about 2-3 minutes, and you can see how it's clumping, but you have to continuously stir. So let me stir, and then I'll show you once we're a bit further. Okay, it's probably been about 5 minutes now, and you can see it's starting to turn a bit yellow. And as you stir around the bottom and pull it up, it's melting. You can see that there. So you just want to basically keep moving it around so it's not sitting anywhere and burns. And we will keep stirring until it's melted more, and then I'll show you. All right, so that happened really quick from that last step to here. Now that it's more liquidy, it's staying hotter, and it's melting a lot quicker. So this is the part where it says don't turn the heat up on it to make the chunks melt quicker, because you'll start cooking the part that's been melted already. Just keep it on medium heat and keep stirring. So I'll show you once it's melted, and then we will add the butter. Okay, so I switched to a whisk. You can see the color that it's all dissolved now and it's getting a bit darker. So what you're gonna wanna do is wait till it gets a bit darker. You're gonna smell a nutty smell, and then I'm gonna turn it off the heat and we will move to the next step in adding the butter. Okay, so you can see the color is getting darker. It's not as transparent now, or translucent. Translucent. You can see that there it's getting to be even browner, right? So I think that's good. Let's turn it off the heat. Oh, that's perfect. Let's turn it off. So now I'm going to add the butter in. And be careful because it will bubble. Ooh. Really bubbles. Keep stirring, keep stirring. I can't really show this part. Keep stirring. So you're gonna stir until this is all dissolved. So this is what it looks like now. So right when I turned it off, it bubbled up and it got really dark because it was hot and it started cooking. So I put the milk or the butter in and you've seen that it bubbled up there. It's a little dark now, so we're gonna add the cream in and I will show you what it looks like once it's mixed in. Okay, so that first batch that I made, it didn't turn out. It actually bubbled up too much. It was too hot when I was trying to cook it there, and when I took it off and you seen it bubbling up, it was actually burning. So when I added the butter and then the cream, it was still so hot that it was cooking and it actually burnt. So now what you're going to see is the recipe again, from the state of the sugar being cooked down and almost melted, and it turns out this time. So let's keep going. Started another batch and I'm back with this one just about melted. And this is, I'm just doing the batch of the recipe. Because the first one that I did, it was hard to tape. So this one, now that it's at this stage, I'm going to take it off and add the butter in, and then I'll show you what it looks like once it's added in. So when you add in the butter, this is what it looks like. You gotta add it while it's hot, and then straight away the cream. So I'll do it all, and then I'll show you what it looks like, because it's gonna get stringy and I'll have to hold on. So I have it just on low now because I have a little bit that's stuck. I had a really big clump to begin with. And once this is off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off and let it cool, and then I'll show you what it looks like. But this is with the cream in. When I put the cream in, it was too cold, so that's why this hardened up. So I just turned it back on to try and get this to get dissolved again, and then I'm gonna have to let it cool probably for about half an hour, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so here it is out here. You can see it better than in here. I don't know why the lighting looks different, but you can see it looks like a darker caramel, and it's all incorporated. So I'm gonna let it sit. We're gonna let it cool. And then once it's cooled, I'm gonna put a handful of some pink Himalayan salt in there, and then we will put it into the jars. But it looks absolutely amazing. It's just super, super hot. So as it sits too, it'll thicken, and then I'm gonna see how much one batch will fill. Hopefully it's a full jar. So let's let it sit, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes and I couldn't help but taste it, and it's really good. So what I'm gonna do actually is I've grinded some pink Himalayan salt. It's probably about, I don't know, a tablespoon. I'm gonna put that in right now and give it a stir because it is thickening up. Give that a stir. That way it doesn't dissolve all the way, and as you're eating your caramel, you kind of get a crunch. But I'm gonna let it sit probably for a half hour now, and then we'll come back and put it in a jar, and I'll show you what it looks like. You can see it's thickening up already, but it looks so good. Okay, so it is cooled down. I've got my mason jar here. What I'm gonna do is basically just pour it in, and you're gonna see that it's thickened. And oh my gosh, this looks so good. I'm gonna have to get a spoon and scrape the rest out, and then I'll show you what it looks like, and we'll talk about it. Okay, so there you go. There is your caramel sauce. And it's super, super good. I don't know, the lighting's not the best right here. But this was tricky to make, I'll have to say that. But once I knew what I was doing with the first step, the sugar part, and I redid the recipe, then it was easy from there. So what I realized is when you get the sugar melted, from the point of it being completely melted and the clumps being gone, to it browning to a caramel color and coming to a boil, is really, really quick. And once it comes to a boil, if you don't get it off and it's already to a boil, it'll keep boiling because it stays hot. It's very, very, I don't know, it stays hot very, very easily, and it'll just continue to cook and burn. So that's what happened. So the second time around, I melted it until it was all the way melted, and then I seen it just starting to turn brown, and I still probably did it a little too long, but it is good. It looks normal, like a normal caramel color. It's actually perfect, probably. But yeah, so give it a try for yourself. I'll say do the recipe with just one batch to start, so you get the hang of how to make it and cook it, and then go from there, because this, oh, now that I've tried it, there's no caramel sauce like this homemade one, and this is actually a very good recipe. So give it a try for yourself. Let me know down below in the comments what you think. If you do give it a try, or if you have any more questions about the process once I did get it figured out. And then if you want and you love watching my videos and giving you know, my videos a watch, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell so you never miss a video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys.